What's up, everyone? This is Sean Gavin. You are watching and listening to our first official hip-hop heads interview, and I am here with my guy, JZAC. What's going on, bro?
Chilling, man. Happy we were able to put this together.
Yeah, so I know we were talking before, but we didn't talk about the album.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Phenomenal album.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one song that's skippable on it, and I'm not just saying that because you're here. Phenomenal.
Thank you, man. That's
and like I told you earlier, I moved out to L.A.
Yep.
And just the whole story behind off the boat and with your father and just like the journey, doing that. So when like I related to the album just because of that, and I thought the whole creative process behind that was just phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. So for that, what are some of your favorite songs, personal favorites?
Shit. It's tough because they're like all my own children. You know what I mean? In my head, like, but I always like, it's kind of like the cop-out answer, but I always I like to see what the fans like, and then like that always like definitely
because I have my top three listed, so I'm waiting to hear what yours are.
I like Pave with Gold a lot.
Okay.
I like Maintain Course, State of Mind. Those as of right now, those three are definitely top.
I have a State of Mind, Off the Boat, and Eye for an Eye. Those are my top ones. And back to the idea of the story. So your father, he came over here. What did he do when he first came over? Because you said he couldn't really speak English. So what was
didn't speak a lick of English.
So what did he end up doing? Like, what was his
I think
job?
he had like Polish, like people that were already might have been here that he kind of like met through other people type of deal. But he just worked on a boat. Like he's always been. I think he originally he was like a chef, like cooking on the boat. But then like when
that's another part of the title of the album, which I didn't know about. That's
and then when he got here, he just became like a commercial fisherman. So like he was literally like always on the boat. So like just growing up, I'd like see like it's a crazy job because you go out for like 2 weeks at a time. So he'd just be gone for like 14 days, and then he'd come home for like 2 days, and then
this
go
was
like
when you were younger.
Yeah. So he just like recently retired. So he's been doing that like his whole life. Just literally had never gotten off the boat. Like,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
The album cover is fire for that. What
Thank you,
did
man.
you have to? How'd you get access to the boat? Did you guys just walk on and just take the photos, or did you have to get in contact with someone?
Funny because like I don't go to the fish pier often in Boston, but like that's where my dad's worked out his whole life. So like I know people there, but I don't know them that well. But like the second they spotted me, it's like family. They're like, hey, like speaking in Polish, they're like you need any more shots on this boat? Like we can take this boat out. I'm like, yeah, let's do it all. Like
that's so funny.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to make the album?
Kind of pieced it together over course of like 4 months maybe.
Because I saw one of your tweets. You said it was supposed to be like a short EP.
Yeah.
A couple songs, and you added more. So So about 4 months took you to do that?
Yeah, but a lot of it we grinded it out like the last month and a half, 2 months. And then I had like a couple songs that I had just been sitting on for a while. Like Maintain Course, I think was like the first song I had made.
Really?
And then, I sat on that for a while. And then I was going to just do like 4 or 5 song EP. But then me and Rock, my producer, we just like continued to create. And then it was like 6 songs. And it was like 7 songs. And I'm like, I don't even know if this is an EP anymore. I don't know if this is an album. Like I was a little nervous that people would be like, oh, this is like too short for an album. But I was just like, no, I think I'm just going to put out 8 songs and a fucking dope ass body of work.
It's
and
the
like,
perfect length. You know? It's not too short, too long. Right. You know, it's there's nothing wrong with that. What was the hardest song you think? Or maybe the last one you put on.
The last
that you
one
struggled with.
The last one we made for it was If You Leave. That one we cooked up like I want to say like a week and a half, 2 weeks before. But I know like mixing wise and stuff, Rock had a lot of trouble with it, just like Off the Boat itself, because like that song, I mean, it's not like a typical kind of style of mine. Like I like doing that stuff, but I wasn't sure how people were gonna like react to it. You know what I mean? Because it goes so hard. Like the content's crazy in it, but like just like it's got like that like trap. But just getting like the vocals and everything right on that, I think was tough.
And you had some issues with putting it out, right? Because you didn't really promote it.
Yeah, I kind of just like surprise dropped it. So I had like just with the distributor that we run through, like they were like getting technical difficulties. So like
that's frustrating.
I had like submitted already like weeks before, but I like they didn't. They were like, hey, so like we're not sure. Like we're going through some stuff and like releases are backed up.
Were you telling people that it was gonna come out?
So, no, I didn't, because that's what I was so nervous to like say it was gonna come out and then like it just doesn't drop, and I would have felt like,
and then everyone's like, what the hell's going on? What are you doing?
Yeah. I guess that could have built hype in a way, but I didn't want to like. So literally like the day before I saw the pre-order go up on iTunes, and I was like, all right, it's good to go. Like let's just fucking drop it.
Oh man, that's awesome. So your previous interview, I know you talked a little bit about, early life, but I wanted to really get into it. Like, what was life growing up in New Hampshire? Like, how were you as a young kid? Like elementary school, high school,
right.
Like were you a quiet kid?
Yeah,
like,
I was always pretty quiet for sure,
Really?
and just minding my own. Like I was always like just a really good kid. Like I didn't really get into much trouble and shit. Like luckily I always had a good group of friends around me and stuff. Like just really into basketball. I have a couple lines about it, but like thought I was going to the NBA until like 7th grade, and then I was like, and then I saw like how good kids were compared to me, and I was like, fuck, man, I don't think I'm gonna make the cut.
So did you play in high school or no?
I played in high school,
High school? Because I saw some of your videos of you hooping, and
Yep.
like, you know, rappers are always posting videos, and
Right.
they're they're terrible. I saw you, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
he looks like he can play a little bit.
Yeah, I play a little bit. But yeah, so I balled, and I didn't even start making music until like got into college. But I've always like was like a huge hip hop head. I just never like thought, because like I was like pretty reserved. Like I'd mess around sometimes in freestyle, but then like I started like,
you probably didn't want some people seeing you doing it. Like you were, like
exactly.
Between your friends, it was low key.
Yeah.
That was another thing I was gonna get into. What were your parents' reactions to that? Because they're from Poland.
Yeah.
So like they probably didn't know anything about really hip hop.
No, like they know it because I grew up on it and stuff, but like they don't like get it. You know what I mean? They're not like, but they're like, my dad is like just such a music head in general. Really? So like when he found out, I like didn't know how he was gonna react, but he was like, he like almost cried, like tears of joy. Really? He was like I'm so proud of you, and I was like, did not expect that. I was like, shit. So like even though it's like not his favorite genre, he just like loves music and like see me doing it. Yeah.
So,
and my mom supports it too. She's doesn't really like get hip hop much, but she sees.
So you didn't
stuff.
really have to convince them to support you.
No.
Because some people, you know,
for sure.
Like, are you really gonna be an artist?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like, you know, some people don't take that well.
Yeah.
And let me see. I saw you do the fake YouTube accounts. So when you first started making music, like, was it just kind of fun, or were you from the get-go like, I'm taking this very serious, or was it just because you said GarageBand? Some friend showed you.
Yeah.
Like, how'd that happen? He was just
just one of my good friends, and like I didn't even know about GarageBand and like recording, and he was like, yeah, you can like record yourself on this. I can rap over beats, and I was like, my mind was fucking blown.
But this was when you were just like freestyling and stuff,
yeah.
And then he was like, he saw like you were kind of good. He was like, oh, you maybe try this.
Yeah, and I was like, you can actually record yourself and like play back. Like he's like, hey, you can just make a song, and I was like, changed everything.
Got
like,
right on YouTube and learned.
Yeah,
did he teach you, dude? Like, did he know what he was doing?
A little bit, yeah. And then I kind of figured it out myself. I used to like, because I didn't have like a computer at the time or like a Mac, so I like when he was in class, I'd be like, yo, like, is it cool if I like borrow your laptop? And he's like, yeah, I guess.
That's funny. So when you were in college, what were you studying?
Marketing. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, that
Low
comes
key,
in hand for what you need to do.
I think I was originally doing like sports management or something, and then I was doing it for like 5 months, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with like a sports management degree. Like it was so new and stuff, so it was like.
Did you know like you wanted to do marketing, or was that just something you picked?
I kind of just switched over. Like that's kind of when I started doing the music thing too. So I was like, I'm just gonna, kind of goes hand in hand.
So you were going really heavy with music and like, was there ever a point where you're like, I kind of want to drop out and just focus on music, or was like, should I just finish?
Only because it wasn't like I knew it was serious then, but like for other people it wasn't, and I was already there for like a year or two, and I'm like, I'm not just gonna drop out, and like I didn't have like enough buzz or anything to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I don't understand where some people do that. It's like, you're at college, just finish with the degree. It's gonna help you. Like, I know you don't want to hear it, but like even if music doesn't work out, you still have that backup plan. And for like someone like you marketing, like that's perfect, because nowadays how music works, like if you can't like we were talking earlier, if you can't market yourself, no matter how good you are, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, good luck.
Like. And that's another thing I credit you for, like how creative you are with your strategies, like the freestyles, the remixes you do. Those, I don't think artists understand how important those are.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you have to back it up with good original content too. But like the remixes because you were doing every Friday for a little while too.
Yeah,
you stopped that. You stopped that, right?
I still do it on like my story, like
on your story?
Snapchat and stuff. But that's more like just light kind of like messing around.
Because you never know, like in name dropping people, like who is it? You had ODell.
Yes.
Ninja.
Yeah.
I saw Snoop picked you up. What were you thinking when that happened? Like,
it's just always crazy. Like literally, like you never know. You know what I mean? Then like I just noticed my phone like going crazy or something, and I'm like, all right, something happened. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Like
that's you're smart doing it. Like name dropping someone like Ninja, because then your fans and his fans who see it tag him, and then he saw it and like, how many followers does he have?
In the millions. Yeah, like, that shit blew up. Like he just retweeted it and it like just skyrocketed. Which remix was that? Because ODell, it was the Taste one, right? Yeah.
For ODell, he supported that. That was recently, or was that a little while ago?
No, that was like this past week, like a week or two ago.
That's crazy. Did he reach out at all?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah, me and him going like back and forth and talking for a little while. I don't really like bring it up on like socials and stuff because like I'm not gonna like just go in at the end. Not to you. Like I don't care about that, but like you know, I'm not one of those dudes gonna be like but like dude,
here's a screenshot of
what exactly. But no, he's the man, dude. He's just like a fan of the music and stuff.
And plus, from now on out, you know, you can always message him and say, "Hey, new song," and he might continue to support that. You know, like that's unbelievable. So outside of music, what are some things besides basketball, like hobbies and stuff you like to do, like in your free time?
It's crazy how much time music takes up. Like,
because you're fully independent.
Yeah.
So like you don't really
so I don't have like too much free time to do stuff, but like I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. Like I don't watch much cable or anything. Like I literally like if I get like free couple hours, like I just watch a lot of interviews, ironically. But like I don't know, I just like to study artists and like stuff and podcasts and all that type of stuff.
Unless there's a game on or something.
Of course, yeah.
I'm the same way. I feel like I'm wasting my time if I'm sitting there watching Netflix or anything like that. You know, it's terrible.
I get like anxious.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? Back to we'll bring up independent. So do you have a manager or anything like? A little team?
Yeah. So I basically, we had like a small team, but we're all kind of just found each other through the music, you know what I mean? So it's like...
Is this a friend of yours?
Yeah, well, we're all just like good friends now, but like...
high school and stuff?
Yep.
And are you full-time music now?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. So it's kind of just been making that transition, like within the last like 6-8 months. Like I still work a part-time job like a couple days a week, but like...
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, just to grind it out, but I mean...
Couple extra
exactly.
dollars in your pocket to do that. Plus it probably motivates you to work harder so you can quit and get out of that job.
People are always like, yo, why don't you just quit? And I'm like, I'm gonna, but like
eventually, you gotta work yourself into it, you know. It's not, there's no point in rushing it.
I got the immigrant mentality, man. I'm always working, like
doing
something.
I'm sure your dad, he's probably
instilled in me.
Like, so they listen to your music? They come to your shows? And
my dad listens to it.
Really?
My mom listens to it too. Like I was telling you earlier, my dad's just like such a music lover, so like he'll go through it and just like try to pick up lines if I make a reference to him. He's like, you know what I mean?
He loves that. I see him posting some pictures of them too.
Yeah.
Because before like coming in the interview, I had the question. I was probably thinking like, he's probably like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you know, just because it's different for him. Sure. That's funny. He really like is backing you and supports you. Was there ever a point where you thought about possibly quitting? Like where you hit like rock bottom, and just like that's not working.
Yeah, there was never like a ultimate rock bottom point, I guess, but there was definitely like I say in Paved with Gold, I think 2013. I was so damn depressed. I mean, I almost stopped. I want to thank God I didn't. But like, it was like me and my good friend Nick Cheeks, who was like been doing it with me from the start, just like supporting and stuff. And like we were just kind of trying to like get a buzz and like get stuff moving. And like I feel like I had just that was like in the blog era. Yeah. When it was like super big, so I was like trying to get on like all these different blogs and just like get more people to hear the music. And like for years, dude, I just could not like I felt like I was stuck at this hump. And like there was a point where I remember like me and him would talk to each other, and like he'd always gas me up if like I was down, vice versa. And like there was like one point where we were both just like, dude, I don't know what to do. And he was like, dude, I just don't know. And like shortly after that, like things just kind of started getting more viral videos and stuff. But like it was like weird, like the low right before things started going up. You know what I mean? You got to hit that like
for everyone.
Yeah.
And plus, like there's so many artists out, like just trying to get attention, you know, from people. Like it's really hard. Like you really have to separate yourself, and that's a big thing for me. I think the first, I mean, I've known about your music for years because you know I was telling you my old website. I think the first song that really like got me listening was Big Plays. Yeah, that was like the one where I was like, okay, like I'm hooked. Yeah. And I started going back to all the old stuff. Yeah. And then when I saw you come out with the new album, I was like, okay, I want to check it out. And then I saw the artwork, and I was like, wow, this is good. This looks like it's gonna be something good. Yeah. And like the hardest thing is, you know, I listen to artists and I'm like, okay, this is a good song. But to be able on my own time to be like, okay, I'm gonna put some JZAC on. Like, that's the biggest thing, and that like you got me on that. Yeah. Like especially after this last album, like in the car, I'll throw the album on. Like an artist struggle, you know, to do that. So like that's a big thing. And I mean, I remember Russ was the same way. I remember him talking about where he was saying like he couldn't figure out where to go from there, and he was reaching out and all these people were rejecting him, and then it's like you finally just see that light. And like, you know, with your parents backing you up too, that's enormous. Right. So are you doing shows and stuff? Yeah. And stuff like local support, was it big or?
It was. I mean,
or was there a lot of hatred? Like, is that another thing that?
Yeah, there wasn't like too much like hate. You know, maybe like some like behind the back kind of like shit, like kind of like mocking it or laughing. But I was always kind of had some like decent local support. But I mean, like recently now it's like got the state on my back. You know, like everyone's like hyped. You know what I mean? So.
Because who are some other guys from New Hampshire that really like? Is there anyone that really?
Not that I know of that's like really popping.
Because I couldn't really.
Yeah.
Was it was Static Select one?
He was like, I don't know if he always lived in New Hampshire or like I think he was like back and forth between that and Boston, but because I'm like, it's like 45 minutes out of Boston, so a lot of people like even will rep Boston even though they're not really from Boston. You know, they're kind of just like an hour out. But like I could just never. I could just never do that. Like. I guess I could technically get away with being like Boston artist, like 40 minutes out, but I'm like, no, like I'm from New Hampshire. I was raised there. Like I can't lie, you know.
Have you been working with some Boston guys? You were just you with Cam Meekins?
Yeah, I was with Cam Meekins the other day.
Him? He's a Boston guy. Yeah. So now that the album's out, you plan on tour?
Definitely want to do some tours and stuff. Kind of just figuring out like the back end detail stuff. So I don't have anything like specific right now, but definitely working on it.
Yeah, what are some cities that when you go to that you're considering that really stand out?
I kind of try to just base it off of like obviously where all the fans are at, but I mean it's pretty like spaced out now. I mean obviously like LA is pretty big, Houston, Chicago, Boston, New York, Philly, and then there's like so many random cities that show a lot of love in Ohio. Really? I noticed like a lot of people, especially like when I was like shipping out like the last merch and stuff, like a lot of people from Ohio.
And were you there before doing any like local little shows or anything?
No.
Or was it just like
just from
Ohio?
Just from the internet, I think.
Wow.
Like the power of it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what are some mistakes you think artists are making?
Like just in general?
Yeah, just in general that you kind of see like, or that you could recommend to other artists, you know, that want to pursue music, just getting started.
Yeah, I think like me and you were talking before the interview, just like the socials is a big one, especially like if you're, I mean, even if you're not an independent artist, but like even more so if you're an independent artist, because like that's the only way to like get your stuff out there. So like just figuring out like innovative ways to push yourself and your brand and all that stuff, and just like really using it and just being on there all the time and responding to fans. Like
it's like a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, and it's like it doesn't look like you're doing much, like from the naked eye. It's like you're just sitting on your phone. People are like, oh, like you're just hanging out. It's like, no, I'm just like responding to messages and
plus
tweets.
You're trying to make music, come up with ideas.
Right.
You gotta work with him. You gotta respond to people. So like, I mean, it's a struggle.
For sure.
Like, you gotta have like a social media guy, dude. You think like I was telling you about a guy.
Yeah, and there's so many of them too. It's not like you just go on Twitter and tweet. It's like then you got to Snap and Instagram.
Because what are your socials at? Like how big are your following? You're like 40 something on.
Yeah, I think
Twitter, so
47 on Twitter. I think Instagram just hit like 60.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of people to respond to you. And plus when like you got Ninja, Snoop, ODell, those guys.
Right.
That's when it,
that's when people start like coming in and
that's when more and more comes out.
Right.
So what do you plan on doing now music wise? Like the album's out because there was a 2-year frame between the albums, right?
Yeah.
So do you plan on taking another 2 years, or
I
know it just came out, but
right. No, for sure. No, I think it'll be sooner before another project comes out. I'm gonna work on some singles and stuff now. Maybe start collabing with some other artists and just continue to put out more content. I'm like excited to get back in the studio and like create more, just because I've had like a fresh gap of time between the album coming out now and working on new stuff. So I'm like super hyped to just get back into it and just
definitely
create more
collabs. I mean, because you don't have a whole lot of collabs.
No,
right?
I haven't done too many.
And I know a lot of artists don't want to do that, but I think where you're at right now, to continue to grow, if you can start working with artists that are in kind of like the same areas you are just a tiny bit more popular and get those features, that's kind of how you just like move up, you know? You got to constantly network with these guys and work with them, and you never know, like you work with one guy and then they hear the song, you can end up working, with some other artists. That's a big thing. Other than that, bro, that's really all I got, because the last interview went on for like an hour and a half and I think that's everything. I covered everything.
Yeah, I'd say we covered some ground.
And I know you got stuff to do, so we'll wrap it up. Well, thank you for doing this. If you haven't, please go and get his album.
Yes.
One of the best albums of the year, and I'm not just saying that. Phenomenal album. Follow him on all social medias at JZAC Music, and we'll get this up on the internet soon. Thanks for watching.